So welcome along, guys. It is Tuesday, the 15th of June. We're halfway through the year. It's a lovely sunny day. And today we've got our atomic habits that we're going to run through. And we've got some worksheets that we're going to look through and go through together, okay? Atomic Habits, a little bit about the book. Now, I absolutely love this book because it helps us understand so many things. And what I take from this book is how we can implement little things in our lives to really enhance the result that we see, okay? Habit forming or taking away bad habits, building good habits, how we can control our lives to get what we want in life, be it business, family, relationships, fitness, health, whatever it is. We can work this book around that. That's why I really recommend everyone to give this a good read if you get the opportunity, or even just listen to it on audiobook. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, okay, today is I want to just talk about a little bit of the first chapter, okay? I'm just going to play this first little bit for you all to hear. The surprising power.
The surprising power.
I think it's this bit here, okay? Have a listen.
The fate of British cycling changed one day in 2003. The organization, which was the governing body for professional cycling in Great Britain, had recently hired Dave Brailsford as its performance director. At the time, professional cyclists in Great Britain had endured nearly 100 years of mediocrity. Since 1908, British riders had won just a single gold medal at the Olympic Games, and they had fared even worse in cycling's biggest race, the Tour de France. In 110 years, no British cyclist had ever won the event. In fact, the performance of British riders had been so underwhelming that one of the top bike manufacturers in Europe refused to sell bikes to the team because they were afraid that it would hurt sales if other professionals saw the Brits using their gear. Brailsford had been hired to put British cycling on a new trajectory. What made him different from previous coaches was his relentless commitment to a strategy that he referred to as the aggregation of marginal gains, which was the philosophy of searching for a tiny margin of improvement in everything you do. Brailsford said, "The whole principle came from the idea that if you broke down everything you could think of that goes into riding a bike and then improve it by 1%, you will get a significant increase when you put them all together." Brailsford and his coaches began by making small adjustments you might expect from a professional cycling team. They redesigned the bike seats to make them more comfortable and rubbed alcohol on the tires for a better grip. They asked riders to wear electrically heated overshorts to maintain ideal muscle temperature while riding, and used biofeedback sensors to monitor how each athlete responded to a particular workout. The team tested various fabrics in a wind tunnel and had their outdoor riders switch to indoor racing suits, which proved to be lighter and more aerodynamic. But they didn't stop there. Brailsford and his team continued to find 1% improvements in overlooked and unexpected areas. They tested different types of massage gels to see which one led to the fastest muscle recovery. They hired a surgeon to teach each rider the best way to wash their hands to reduce the chances of catching a cold. They determined the type of pillow and mattress that led to the best night's sleep for each rider. They even painted the inside of the team truck white, which helped them spot little bits of dust that would normally slip by unnoticed, but could degrade the performance of the finely tuned bikes. As these and hundreds of other small improvements accumulated, the results came faster than anyone could have imagined. Just 5 years after Brailsford took over, the British cycling team dominated the road and track cycling events at the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing, where they won an astounding 60% of the gold medals available. 4 years later, when the Olympic Games came to London, the Brits raised the bar as they set 9 Olympic records and 7 world records. That same year, Bradley Wiggins became the first British cyclist to win the Tour de France. The next year, his teammate Chris Froome won the race, and he would go on to win again in 2015, 2016, and 2017, giving the British team 5 Tour de France victories in 6 years. During the 10-year span from 2007 to 2017, British cyclists won 178 world championships and 66 Olympic or Paralympic gold medals, and captured 5 Tour de France victories in what is widely regarded as the most successful run in cycling history. For more information and updates on the British...
Cool. I wanted to start with that. I think that piece of series of information is so valuable in everything that we do. Now, he talks about the British cycling team looking at every aspect of their life where they can make the small incremental changes. Now, a lot of people think when they have big goals, we got to take massive, big steps to do some sort of grandeur, massive goal. But actually, we really don't. We just need to take the little steps by step. You know, things like what massage gel they use to increase muscle recovery. Like the loads and loads of tiny little steps that we take that. And it all formulates from habits, okay? Has anyone ever read The Compound Effect? If you want another book to go on to, Compound Effect is really a good one because it can compound your interest, okay? For example, quickly, if we were to make a 1% gain every single day, by the end of the year, we will be I think it's like 2.7 or between 2 and 3 times better, okay? So if we had a £1 and we increased it by 1% each time, that would be a much higher value over a year, okay? And it starts to compound really, really bigly. So for example, if I were to say to you, I've used this example before, but if I were to say to you, if I were to give you £3 million right now, or I would give you 1 penny that doubles every day for 31 days, okay? It's at day 29, it's about, I think it's 2.5 million, the 1 penny. Day 30 goes to 5, day 31 it goes to 10 million, okay? So it really compounds towards the end. It's the same with our results when it comes to the gym, with our lifting, with our, you know, for my jiu-jitsu, it's the same with that. For your guys' work, it's the same for that, okay? So I really like that first bit because it really sets the scene to what this book does, okay? And it talks about the habits that we can form. And one thing that they mention in this book is about how we don't rise to our standards of our goal, okay? We fall to the standards of our systems, okay? So for example, with the British weightlifting, British cycling, with the British cycling, they really wanted to set goals. They wanted to get some medals, win some competitions, get a better limelight. My whole adult life, I've always deemed cycling to be a very British thing. If you ask what Britain are good at, I'd be like, yes, cycling. But actually, like you said, pre-2007, 2004, there wasn't much about them, but they started changing the 1% to looking after the things and improving that performance. So that's why I really like to look at that, because then what we can have a look at is what systems do they use? What habits have they formed that allow them to make those gains, okay? So today, what we're going to do, we're going to look at habits and how our identity is formed, okay? And how rather than looking at the goal, we're going to look at formulating the person. So for example, if your goal is to lose weight, rather than looking at losing weight, why don't we look at the person who loses weight? Someone who fills the food diary out, someone who goes training in the gym. These are the sort of things that we need to look at, okay? So 2 sessions a week, training with that. Are you doing your rehab stuff? Someone who wants to lose weight wouldn't miss a gym session. Someone who wants to lose weight wouldn't necessarily overindulge on the weekend, okay? So it's not necessarily trying to fill the diet, it's trying to be the person that's going to get those results, okay? And for us to work this, guys, okay, we've got a little bit of work to do today, okay? So if you need these sheets, okay, you can get hold of these on Atomic Habits, okay? You go on Atomic Habits /media, I think it is, and you can get these worksheets, okay? They're really, really good, and how you can do these, okay? This is something that you can be really good because it helps focus our time. Time is the only one non-renewable source. So if we can make our habits and our time all effective, this would be really, really beneficial. So we're going to start off with what creates a good habit, okay? Now, there's 4 laws to behavioral change, okay? And the first law, okay, we need to make it obvious. The second law, we need to make it attractive. The third law, we need to make it easy. And the 4th law, we need to make it satisfying, okay? So, for example, making it obvious, okay? We need to make sure that we're doing something at a certain time, okay? So, for example, if we wanted to do something, like let's say we want to eat more fruit, okay? Put that fruit on the table. Like if I had a plate of cookies and I put it on the table, I'm more likely to go and eat it. If I wanted to eat some fruit and I put it out on the table so I could see it, I'm making it obvious. It's not hidden away. Did you know you're less likely to eat fruit and veg if it's in the fridge than you are if it's just out? So if you haven't got a fruit bowl, there's your first golden nugget for today. Get a fruit bowl and put the fruit out so you can easily access it, okay? Make it obvious, okay? Make it easy. That comes to rule there as well. We're going to go through our habits scorecard as well in a second, guys. So we'll really find out what habits that we've got. The second law, making it attractive, okay? So the law, we've got to make the habit attractive that we want to generate, okay? And we'll come over all of these when we do our habit stacker, okay? But when we find a habit, we want to make it attractive. We want to make it new and exciting. We don't want to have to, like, for example, if I were to say to you, like, you know, we wanted to lose weight, but we had to run, I don't know, a mile uphill every time we do something, that's not too overly attractive. So it's probably not going to be too easy to do. But we got to make sure it's good, okay? Join a culture where that desired behavior is there. So, for example, like coming along to these things here, guys, it's going to be really beneficial because we're all here trying to lose weight, all here trying to get fitter, all here trying to get healthier. So being surrounded by people in that same line, like, it's going to make it attractive. If all my peers that I am around think, for example, a lot of my peers love jiu-jitsu, if they started talking negatively in jiu-jitsu and they're my peers, well, you know, that's going to have a knock-on effect to me, okay? So I want to make that attractive by using that. Next one, make it easy, okay? It's the easy rule, okay? So, for example, we will do whatever we can with the least amount of friction, okay? The least amount of effort required for us is the path that we'll always take, okay? In the book, it mentions about farming habits, how farming from east to west was actually a lot easier than going from sort of south to north. So, for example, if you're looking across Europe and Asia, it was really easy because the same weather band and continent, we could just spread the farming techniques over from the UK all the way across that borderline, okay? I've actually got a tattoo on my leg. I don't know if you can see, that is East Asia. So go from Europe all the way through to Asia. Compared to somewhere like America, North America, rather than going from like Florida to Colorado, okay, where the weather band is completely hard. So because it makes it easier, they were then able to do those things, okay? Does that make sense? Are you with me, guys? Give me a little holler, give me a thumbs up, okay? If you're still watching, still listening. Okay, so the third law, make it easy. Fourth law, make it satisfying, okay? Because if we don't have a reward and we don't find it enjoyable, we don't get that reinforcement, we won't overtake with this new habit, okay? So give yourself an immediate reward. For example, like if you fill in your food diet at the end of the day, give yourself a reward. Say you can play 10 minutes on your phone or have a conversation with someone, or maybe like if, for example, you like your coffee, you could say, right, okay, well, if I do everything straight for the next day, I can have a nice coffee the next day, whatever it might be, okay? But try not to be like, I want to lose weight, so my reward for following the diet each day is going to be a Domino's at the end of the day. Those two things are going to be a bit like confusing on the identity of the body, okay? You're not going to get someone who's fit and healthy that'll eat a Domino's at the end of the day, every day, are you, you know? So when we got these 4 rules, okay, what we're going to look at now is our habit scorecard, okay? So you need to get a piece of paper. If you haven't got a piece of paper, not a problem. I don't know if you can see this. These are our daily habits, okay? And what we're going to do is fill these out, and then we're going to have positive, negative, or neutral. So, for example, first thing in the morning, what I do is my alarm goes off on my watch. First thing I do is I turn my alarm off. So if I had a pen and paper, I'd write, turn my alarm off. The second thing, I get out of bed, okay? I go downstairs and I have a glass of water. The next thing I do is I check my phone, okay? I shouldn't do, that's probably a bad habit. So if I would say, set my alarm, okay, turn my alarm off, that's going to be a neutral habit. Having a glass of water, that's going to be a positive habit. Checking my phone on Facebook, yeah, okay, I'll probably tell myself it might be work related, but realistically speaking, it's probably a neutral habit, a negative habit, because actually I'm probably just checking Facebook. I'm not actually filling my brain with goodness. Then once I've done that, I then turn my book on. So I listen to my book, be it at the moment Atomic Habits, but whatever book I'm listening to, okay, I'll do that first thing in the morning. That's probably a positive habit. Next thing I know, getting Albie up. So my things then start going around the kids, which are probably neutral habits because they're just habits they have to do to look after the children. Then looking at throughout the day, okay? So what we're going to do now, get a piece of paper, okay? We're going to look through our morning routines and our morning habits, okay? So with a piece of paper, in your daily habits, what is the first thing you do in the morning when you wake up? Make a note. Is it turn the alarm off? Roll over? Wake the missus up as well, or the partner up. Say, come on, get up. What is it that you do the first thing in the morning? Okay, this is something you can really go, you can write down, and then we can go over it tomorrow morning. You can be like, right, okay, what do I actually do? Okay, you can have a look at your thing. So for me, like I said, turning my alarm off is my first thing. Okay, the next thing, okay, would be then going downstairs, having a glass of water, checking my Facebook on my phone, checking messages, checking emails. Then I'm going to be the next habit after I've got the kids are up, or if they're not there, maybe make a Facebook post. I know I need to add some stuff into this, which I'll go through in a second, guys, when we come to the habit stacking. That's it. Good, good, good. How are we all doing, guys? Making notes? Good, 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 good. That's it. Nice, 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 nice. Good work, guys. Perfect. I'll give you a couple of seconds, guys. I want you to try and do all your morning routines, okay? Do you get in the car? Do you get dressed? Do you have a shower? Do you put your right shoe on before your left shoe? I bet no one pays attention to that. I certainly don't. Hello, I can see you. That's it. Good. Good. Keep going, guys. Keep going. We're going to go all the way up to lunchtime, okay? Every habit that you can think of, okay? So, getting up, getting dressed, choosing your clothes, picking the clothes for the kids, getting the kids breakfast, getting in the car, driving, whatever it might be. Whatever it might be. Driving to work. Once you get to work, what's the first thing you do? Do you check in? Do you clean up? Whatever it is, things you do, guys, okay? And we're going to work through them, okay? That's it. I'll give you another couple of minutes to fill these through. Don't worry if you can't remember precisely what it is you do each day. You know, when we fill the food diaries out, one of the main things for the food diary is actually recognition of what foods we're eating. If we don't get to a point of recognition, we can't do too much about it, okay? Hence why these daily habit routines are going to be really, really good. Where's my pen gone? I got a pen somewhere. Nice. So alarm, water, Facebook, book, kids' food, work, school run, work, clothes for jiu-jitsu, that's it. Nice. Cool, guys. So what I'm going to do, okay, I want you to run through with me, guys, okay? So I'm going to do my first one, okay? I'm going to say whether I deem it as a good habit or a bad habit, okay? And it's only down to sort of relatively how I think. And if you don't know whether it's a good habit or a bad habit, think if you were to do this long term, in 10 years, is this going to put you in a better position or a worse position? If it's nothing and it's just a habit, then that would be neutral. For example, if you were to have a fag every morning, first thing in the morning, is that going to benefit you in 10 years or not? It might benefit you immediately in reducing your stress levels having a cigarette, but actually in 10 years, that's going to do a lot of damage. Is having cereal quick and easy fix right now, but down the line, is that going to be damaging for our health or not? You know, so we'll work for these things here, okay? So first one, I got alarm. I'm going to put myself as a neutral habit. I'm then going to have water. I'm going to put that as a positive habit, okay? Just put a little P plus negative or equals for neutral. Facebook check in the morning for me, I'm going to put that as a negative habit. Okay, then I read my book in the morning. I'm going to put that as a positive habit. Then I've got to make the kids breakfast and food. I'm going to say that's a positive habit because if they don't eat, the little shits, in the nicest possible way. So I'm going to say that's a positive habit because if they don't eat, my life is terrible. Could be a neutral one though as well. I then go to work. I start work early doors. When I go into work, I make sure everything's clean. Okay, that's a positive habit. If I keep working, as you know, one, it keeps my brain busy. I get to help people. Two, you know, it's work, it's financial, so it's a positive effect. I then do the school run. I'm going to say school run is pretty neutral. I then come back to work. I'm going to say that's a positive. Then I get my clothes and my bits and bobs ready for jiu-jitsu. And then I drive to jiu-jitsu as well and my training. Now, looking at this, I can already see that I'm missing out my breakfast time. Where do I get that in? Do I not have a habit for breakfast? Which I don't think I do at the moment. So these would be things that we can add into it. I do get my breakfast in, but it's never at a set period each day. Which is cool. How are we doing, guys? Have you got lots of positives and negatives? Hit me up. You can comment on this. Give me a little message, guys. I'm going to unmute you all now, okay? You can write down or tell me some unhabits. More ask to unmute all. Perfect. I'm going to ask to unmute you guys. Just jump in. Give me a little couple of habits that you feel that you've got. Give me a positive, a negative, and a neutral habit that you've got, guys. Go on, Ryan. You're my first on my thing. I'll pick on you to say to start with, okay?
Probably negative would be TV and I'll check you while I'm having breakfast. Positive end, probably get the wife and kids up, go in and work. Everything else, I think, is just, you know, neutral. It's, you know, get up, make breakfast, make lunch, make the kids lunch, get the kids dressed, out the door. You know, it's just.
Do you not think making yourself food positive?
Well, I enjoy food, so it could be.
Or could it be like making food that's going to help you with the diet, which is going to help you with your health, which is going to help you long term? So making the right foods would be a real benefit, I suppose. I would see that as a positive, making your right foods. Positive habit. Or it could be a negative habit, making the wrong foods.
Yeah. No, my lunches seem to be all right. It's just what I have for breakfast.
So lunch, positive habit, breakfast, negative habit.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll make a note, put that down. Next one, I've got Rianne, you're on the phone.
Yeah. The majority of mine are neutral, I think. I've got two different routines, one for when I go to work and one when I'm off.
Cool.
I've got my breakfasts and lunch, and when most of my food really is a negative at the moment because I don't think I'm doing great with that. Positive, I suppose, is just doing the things with the kids.
What did you do when you first wake up, Rianne?
My alarm, out to bed, and then I have a pee.
Alarm, out of bed, have a pee. Neutral. What's your next thing?
Teeth, face, get dressed, go downstairs, pack my bag.
Brush your teeth, get dressed.
Yeah.
Pack your bag.
Go down. Yeah. Shoes on, leave for work.
Positive.
Well, I've got that as a neutral.
I've got my clothes as a positive habit because if I don't pack my stuff when I go to jiu-jitsu, when I get there, I'm going to have nothing to do it in. So I see it as a positive.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. A lot of this will make sense when we come to habit stacking, okay? What about foods? What about yourself, Jack? Hit me up with some stuff, Jack. What's the first thing you do in the morning?
I always have to wake up early and go to the toilet.
Cool. That'd be like a neutral.
Or my alarm, yeah, and then my alarm goes off.
Cool. Make sure you put wake up early, go to toilet, alarm goes off. So you're making a note as many details as you possibly can. Tomorrow morning, you'll be really present of what you do first thing in the morning because we're going over it now. So like wake up, go to the toilet, neutral. Well, positive, really.
Yeah.
You don't want to wet the bed.
Yeah.
You know, so we're positive. Come on, we're positive people. We'll put that down on positive. Okay. Then your alarm goes off. What's your next thing?
Yeah. Get dressed.
Positive.
And then let the dog out.
Let the dog out. Positive.
Turn on like the radio or a podcast.
Radio. If you're going to listen to the news and how much the world sucks, that's a negative.
No, it's most
podcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Positives, I would say.
Stuff that I like. Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you
I've-
really like the negative shit, it's a point.
Yeah, I hate the news. Yeah.
Good.
And then cook breakfast, walk the dog, brush my teeth,
Yeah.
drive to work, and then work's just all over the place.
Cool. What about yourself, Diane?
So I put as one of my negatives was checking my, like, I'll scroll Instagram while I'm getting ready. So like I'll go and have a shower after I get up, and then I'll get ready and like scroll. So I put that as a negative. But and then I got most of mine are similar to everyone else's, like quite neutral.
Yeah.
And then positive, I've got having a cup of tea because I like my cup of tea before I start work. So I think that's quite a nice, I like that as a routine.
Yeah. Cool.
But checking my phone, probably the biggest negative I've got.
Cool. What about yourself, Joanna? You're next on my list.
So my alarm goes off, and I've noticed that I've brought in a snooze back a negative because it sets me up wrong. But I also have when writing this down is make me realize as well, I've had new curtains, so my room is really dark in the morning.
Okay, yeah.
That's now making me like snooze and want to stay in bed. So I think what I should do is keep my curtains closed in the day so it doesn't get hot in the room. And then when I go to bed, open the curtains. So then I wake up naturally, like more natural in the morning instead of like, ugh. So I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to change. I've like,
That's great for the summer. You'll be bugging in the winter, but we'll worry about that later.
Yeah.
Cool. So we got positive. We're going to do the change there, but negative, maybe setting the snooze button.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Firing on to the next bit, guys. Okay. So we got some positive habits, some negative habits, some neutral habits. What I want you to do, every single one of you, is to have a piece of paper with you all throughout the day tomorrow. And every time you go to do something that you think is a habit that is just happening, make a note of it. Okay. Try and be conscious of what you are doing. Okay. So the next thing to talk about is our habit scorecard, is a habit stacking. Okay. Now, habit stacking is something that's going to really benefit us today. Okay. So one of the best way to build a new habit, or something that we want that's going to be for our new identity, if we want to build that person that's going to get the results that we want, okay, whatever it might be, we can then add into it. So what we would then do, okay, for example, for the ones that wake up in the morning, okay, like for me, I'm going to go through my habits here, okay, and I'm going to see what things I can do. So, for example, the school run is a very neutral habit for me. However, if I were to do the school run and add in a audiobook, all of a sudden that time becomes a positive habit because I'm going to do one, then the other. Okay. So my school run, I actually do listen to an audiobook. So that now is, I'm listening to my audiobook while dropping the kids off. Okay. When I get the train, if I want to be a little bit fitter, maybe rather than sitting down, I might stand up. Okay. Every year on my birthday, I might donate to charity. Every time I turn on a shower, I might do 10 stretches. Every time I have a cup of tea, I might do a minute of meditation. You know, we can start adding in things to our routine. So we're going to look down at our routine. For me, alarm in the morning. Yeah, I can't really add much else into that. I got to do that. Water, first thing, pouring that cup of water, having that drink. That's going to be good as well. Facebook. Do I really need to go on Facebook? But let's say I do go on Facebook and I want to continue to do that in the mornings. Right, okay, well, I need to make it a habit stack, okay? So maybe rather than just having Facebook, I've got to do a minute of meditation before I go onto my Facebook. Okay. Sorry, I know the camera's going in and out of focus mode. I don't know if that's putting you off or anything, guys. So me to add a habit stack, 1 minute, 60 seconds meditation. Okay, if I were to go on Facebook. Next thing for me, I listen to my audiobook. Okay, the one after that, kids' food. Could I, whilst making the kids' food, prep my own food? the one thing that I've noticed here is actually I'm not doing any prep for my food. And to be completely honest with everybody, this is one of the hardest things I struggle with. Breakfast and snack one, I can have a smoothie or scrambled eggs, okay? They're the foods that I always have, but the time of it is different every day. So for me, when I'm making the kids' food, I could also do something. So after I make current habit, so after I make the kids' food, I will, new habit, make my own food. And I'm going to be very specific in that, okay? So after your current habit, I will, new habit. And you got to be specific. You can't be vague. So like, for example, if I was to do, I'm going to do some stretching, I'm going to do or some press-ups after lunch. Well, what? After I've sat down and had lunch, or after I've shut the computer for lunch? So maybe as soon as I finish for my lunch work, I'm then going to do, so after I finish for lunch, current habit, I will, new habit. Okay? So what I want you to do now, guys, okay, with your list, very quickly, choose a couple of negative habits, okay, that we have and that we can't get rid of. For example, for me, like a negative habit, maybe driving to BJJ, it takes up time. I'm just sat there. But I could turn that habit into a positive habit by adding into it. So whenever I'm driving, I'm always listening to an audiobook, okay? Unless I've got the kids screaming in the back, in which case we just play games because it's just keeping them quiet. And then once they're quiet, I can then enjoy the audiobook, okay? So yeah, take a couple of minutes, guys. Look through your habit checklist. After current habit, I will, new habit, okay? So you're going to go through some examples they've got here. After I get in my car, I will take 3 deep breaths. Who gets in their car and whacks on a seatbelt? Who consciously pays attention to the fact they put a seatbelt on? Not many of us. Like, I put a seatbelt on because the car fucking bings if you don't. Bing, 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 bing. So, like, habit for me, hear the binging noise, put the seatbelt on. That's my cue. Not getting into the car, hearing the pinging noise. When I close, you know, when I go out the door, make sure I've got my keys, make sure I've got my wallets. We're going to start building these habits, okay? Before I travel on a plane, pack a healthy snack to take with me. Before I go on a long walk, take a healthy snack with me, okay? I'm going out for the day, make sure I'm doing something with me. For example, if you, when I see my water bottle is half empty, I'll fill it up. Every time I take a shower, I'm going to clean the toilet. Every time I'm going to do, like, you can add things into it. You'll be surprised. When you start looking through your morning routines of what habits you've got, guys, you're going to really start noticing where we can improve.
To me 7:30, he was doing like a power up thing. I was like, well, I won't get home.
That's it. That's it. Good, guys. Good. For those of you just joining me, okay, just have a listen along and then start back again if you can next time, or when I've put this on, okay? That's it. Excellent stuff. Cool. How are we looking, guys? Right, I'm going to go through the list, okay? I want you to give me a negative habit or a habit that you do and how you can add a positive habit that's going to benefit your lifestyle. If your goal is to lose weight, how can you add a habit to a normal habit and lose weight? Okay. How can you add a habit or add something to improve your finances? How can you add a habit to improve your family life? How can you add a habit to improve your happiness? How can you add a habit to improve your meditation? All these things, okay? So look at your list, look where you've got a habit and look where you can improve it, okay? I'm going to work it through. Diane, you're my first person.
So I don't drink enough fluids. So I've put before I do like tea though. So I put before I have my cup of tea, I will drink a glass of water.
Yeah. Nice. And every time you have a cup of tea, you can just have a quick sip of water. I did it with the do you know what? I did it with the mother-in-law today. She wanted a coffee before our session. She was like, "Can I have a coffee?" And I was like, "Yeah, no worries." I poured a massive pint of water. And behind the pint of water, I had a shot of water, literally like a little shot. Because I knew what would happen. I knew like what would happen is I'd say, "Oh, okay, time to build this new habit, Trace. Okay, sorry, my camera's going crazy on the autofocus. So I said to you, got to have a little bit of habit drinking a shot of water. It doesn't matter how much water you drink, Dan. It matters that you do the drinking. So if you're really not feeling up for it, you just want a cup of tea, small glass of water.
Okay.
Quarter glass of water. The main thing is that you're doing it each day, because have you ever heard that thing, 10,000 reps? They did this thing with chimpanzees. They basically take the fingers together and just did this 10,000 times with the chimpanzee. Just move the finger back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then what they did is they untaped the hand and let the chimpanzee go. And what happened to the chimpanzee? It was sat there doing this. The habit had formed. Okay, we built a neural pathway from our body. When you do movements in the gym, the first time you do it, they're quite difficult, but after a few times, it becomes a lot better. Cool. Jack, hit me up with how you can add a positive habit to your life on something that you do every day.
I don't like driving to work because it's a long drive, so I could listen to an audiobook.
Perfect. How many hours a day do you drive, Jack, do you reckon?
Oh, it takes about half an hour to 40 minutes to get to work. So
an hour a day.
Yeah.
That's an audiobook a week. That's 52 audiobooks a year. Do you think your brain will be much more knowledgeable in a year's time after developing this habit?
Maybe.
Yeah, of course it fucking will. Don't say maybe. Of course it will. Unless you're reading.
I might be listening to it. I don't know if I'll take it in.
Like when it comes to like audiobooks and books like that, don't worry if you're taking the information in. Just worry that you're listening to it and you're becoming someone who is listening to books or reading books. And you might take one piece of information. Like I've listened to this Atomic Habits book. This will be my 6th time through. And every time I'm like, oh shit, there's something else going on. There's something new going on. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I suppose even just like one new word or something to add to my vocabulary.
Yes,
I guess that's a win.
Something. And if you don't pick up something, you're reconfirming the stuff that you already know. So that's not a bad thing anyway. And it's dead time, isn't it? You know, that hour a day is dead time.
Yeah, 100%.
It's good. Joanna, hit me with a positive then. What are you going to do?
Oh, am I? Yeah.
You're good?
Good. I'm actually going to do that as well, because I'm in the car, 2 hours a day with taking my kids to school. And I'm always just saying like, I haven't got time because I've got to do that. I've got an hour a day on my own. So I've got like stacks of books in my Amazon Audible.
Yeah.
That I've even downloaded this one you're talking about, but I haven't listened to them. So why am I not putting them on? So that is like literally my habit. Cool, really positive.
Build into it. It's amazing. I drive to Swansea every day for jiu-jitsu. Drive the kids is 40 minutes. I can drive up to 2.5, 3 hours a day. I'm listening to an audiobook that entire time. Like I am absolutely smashing the audiobooks this year round. And rather than just do one new one every time, I will repeat a book multiple times so I can always pick up new information. And the thing is, every time I go back to a book, my brain is influenced different, so I pick up different things. Like this last time round, just listening to this audiobook, I was like, how did I miss that the first 5 times round? And I'm really picking it up again. So yeah, really, really good. Nice. Carly, I know you're just listening. Rianne, give me a little bit of a positive stack that we can do.
So I'm going to start drinking a glass of water as soon as I go downstairs in the morning.
Amazing.
And when we're having handover in work every morning, the majority of the time I'm the one doing the handover. So instead of sitting down, I'm going to stand up. And I'm going to just stand up, have my coffee at the same time instead of just sitting down.
Yeah. Okay. So your habit is when I go downstairs, the first thing I'm going to do is have a glass of water.
Yeah.
When I do changeover, I will stand up during changeover.
Yep.
I wondered whose cat it was. It's my cat. If anyone can hear someone meowing, he's going to show his face any second. I guarantee it. Cool, Rianne, that's awesome. Really, really good. Who else we got? Ryan, hit me up with Ryan, you still here? Yeah, you're still here. Ryan, hit me up with a positive that you're going to add into your lifestyle.
Walk a bit quicker when I'm out on delivery.
How can you quantify that?
Well, I normally just lindy long and take my time. If I just walk that little bit quicker, you know.
More like specific. So, for example, if it takes you 3 hours to do a round, you could say, right, rather than doing it in 3 hours, I'm going to do it in 2 hours 55. So then at least you, because say I'm going to do it quicker, could be a bit ambiguous.
Yeah.
Okay, is that the word? Who knows? I said this cat show up, didn't I? Here he is. This is Cranus, okay? He was named after a crane. Thank you to the little boy Rupert. We've also got Mixer and Digger. That was the other one, Digger. But cool. Yeah, that's a really good one, If you can add into it. So what you could do is say, every other stop, I'm going to run.
Well,
Every other post, I'm going to run, drop it in. You could, like, you know, be really specific with it so it's easy to track.
that's a health and safety nightmare there.
Running really fast. But you know what I mean? So rather than just saying, I'm going to do it a little bit faster, you just go, I'm going to specifically every 10, or like, you'll know which ones are really difficult. Like, for example, no, don't do it, but you could stop at the top of our lane and run the whole thing. So you could be like, when I get to Dom's house, I'm going to run it. So you're being very specific to that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and the other thing I got down is make time for lunch. So I normally try to sit down and wolf fit down because I've ended up gas bagging too much. So I need to make sure that I'm setting 15 minutes aside for me to sit and have my food and eat it tidy.
Yeah. Okay. So we could, perfect. Set an allowance of 15 minutes to take time. What time are you going to take that each day?
I always try to have my lunch around about 12:30, regardless of where I am in the round.
At 12:30 on the dot, I'm going to have 15 minutes for my lunch. Every single day, we will build a habit at 12:30 to have our lunch every single day, 12:30. Sound good?
Yeah.
That's the specificness, that is. Good. Who else we got? We've done everyone there. Nice. Really good stuff there, guys. Habit stacking. So that's the sort of things, guys, when it comes to this book, okay? The book is very, very in-depth. I totally recommend you do this, okay? But what I wanted to do there is really start bringing conscious awareness of what we're doing with our time, what habits we're forming, and how we can actually utilize our time best by improving our habits. So the next thing from this, guys, okay, is to get a piece of paper and take it with you around and actually start tracking your habits, okay? It could be as simple as putting your seatbelt on, putting your clothes on. Like for me, first thing in the morning, I go into the room and I grab some clothes. I don't consciously aware what I put on, I literally just chuck it on, okay? But that's a habit. I don't prep my clothes. I literally just grab and go. So like a habit could be is when I put my clothes on in the morning, I will get my jiu-jitsu clothes ready at the same time. You know, we can start tracking these things. So challenge for you guys, okay, for this next few days, okay, is to habit track. I want you to track whatever you're doing all day. Every time you notice yourself doing a habit, make a note, okay, jot it down. Because the more of this habit stacking that we can do and more of this habit creation that we can do, there we go, our daily habits, if you can see. You should focus in a second. Okay, fill that out. I want this to be full, okay, all the way through the end of the day. So literally tomorrow, you're going to have a piece of paper, you're going to write it down. If you're watching this back, guys, do it a whole 24 hours of habit forming, okay, making sure we're seeing what habits we've got, because what we can then do is use the tiny little 1%, for example, making a cup of tea, doing meditation each time. Building a habit, it's a 1% that's going to make such a difference. Just like in that piece that we heard at the start, how the British cyclist team really sorted themselves out is by doing the little bits each time. Okay, like for me, I drive, I listen to a book. You know, I could waste that time, but I'm utilizing that time. The more I educate myself, the better my life becomes. Okay, the more that we can work towards. So it works towards that identity rather than working towards that goal. Someone who wants to be fit and healthy will do these things. Someone who wants to be fit and healthy will follow the habit tracking. Okay, they will make a note of it, and then we can start looking at it. So for you guys, okay, I'm going to make a note of who's here. Okay, I want you to get a habit stacker. So tomorrow evening, we should have a whole day, okay, of habits. Then what we can start to do is see where we can add in habits, okay? I really think the food diary and habits are very interlinked. For example, a lot of people might miss meals. That's probably because they're busy, okay? Or they say they're busy and they're just running around. Well, actually, if we could utilize time saying, okay, maybe we'll add this into here, we'll take that into there. Or actually, every time I do this, I'm going to do this. And what you'll find is actually, without any resistance, we're starting to get better. And if, for example, this week with on food, we sort our breakfast meals out. Well, if we nail that all week, that's that 1% done. A habit's starting to form. Let's focus on the next bit. Let's focus on the next bit. Let's focus on the next bit. It's why when you first join here, the first thing when it comes to food diaries is purely filling that food diary out. Nothing else. But that's the first habit we do. Once we've built that habit, we look at breakfast. Once we've built that habit, we look at the dinner and lunch combo. Once we've built that habit, we then add into it each time, okay? Everyone with me? Everyone happy? Give me a little thumbs up, guys. Give me a little, say you got a celebration. Oh, nice. Who did that one? Rianne, lovely, lovely. Good, guys. Give me a little thumbs
Got my
up.
thumbs up.
Good, good, good. How was that, guys? Did you find that helpful?
Yeah, good. Good.
This is such a small bit of the book. The book's 5 and a bit hours long. This is one bit that's going to be really beneficial for us to take away so we can see what habits we've got and what we've formed and how we can improve our lifestyle straight away. Okay? For example, for me, one thing that I am going to implement tomorrow, which I have dropped off the grid and I've lost a habit for, I've not been very good at social media content for business. Normally, I'd wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and the first thing I would do is after I wake up is go on Facebook and make my content for the day. But I fell off that because I started doing other things. But actually, I want to do that. So what I'm going to do, I have my glass of water. After I have my glass of water, I'm going to be productive and write a Facebook post. Okay, it's why you'll see it. I used to see posts like around 5:30 in the morning. Jack's doing a really, really good habit at the moment. He's listening to the weekly power up call whilst cooking his food. Look at that preparation. Account. That is good. That is good. I can see him chopping up some food. But it's good. As always, guys, what I want you to do, go into the Facebook group, okay? And please, please, please put a message out. Just tell me what your number one takeaway from today is. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to chase Ryan, Carly, Joanna, Diane, Jack, and Rianne. I'm going to chase you all tomorrow for your habit stacking, okay? I want to see a whole days of habits, seeing what we've got. Then what we can do is look to really improve that. Because if you're doing something naturally already, and we can add something to that naturalness, that's like really, really easy then. Willpower is nearly impossible to work with. And like some of the best people in the world don't have the strongest willpower or discipline. They just have the right environment for success. And this book will also go through that. So I totally recommend doing that. I talk about setting the environment up. Like, for example, if you don't have chocolate in the house, you're probably not going to eat chocolate. I setting that environment up, okay? So if we can build on our habits and set the environment up so we're following habits each time, where are you going to be in 6 months' time, a year's time, 3 years' time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time? You know, we're all relatively young here, guys. You know, most people live to their 80s now. We've got so much time that we can utilize. If we utilize our time perfectly, then we're going to really, really see some massive benefits and changes, okay? And you can use this for any part of your life. You want more love in your relationship? Give more love. Every time I wake up in the morning, I'm going to send my partner a love note or a message. Great gratitude. Every time I wake up in the morning, I'm going to fill my nutrition journal out. Every time I wake up in the morning, I'm going to fill my gratitude journal out. Okay? Does that sound good? Awesome, guys. Give me a little thumbs up, okay, that you're all happy. like I said, go on to the page, guys. Okay, this is a really, really good focus time for you now. Okay, we are super motivated to look at our habits. Yeah, it should be good. If anyone notices they have any bad habits and they want to try and undo some of the habits, we just got to reverse the stages of the 4 laws. Okay, but we won't focus on that. That would be if anyone just notices they've got some bad habits, send me a message and we can start working towards those bad habits to break them down. Okay, but I totally recommend reading the book. I only want today is to take action on our good habits. Okay, I want to take a habit on looking what habits we've got and then adding in good habits that are going to take us towards our goals. Okay, guys? Sound good? Lovely, lovely. Thanks so much for coming along, team. I hope that was beneficial for you. I know the camera keeps going in and out of focus. It's bothering me. I'm going to try and fix that. You might not see it. I don't know, but it keeps going in and out of focus for me. Perfect. Have a lovely day, guys. And I will speak to you all tomorrow with a long list of your habits.
Cool.
The
Thank
Facebook group right
you.
now. Tell me what sort of golden nugget of information you've taken away from today, just so everyone else can see it and get hyped up for this session as well. Perfect.
Thanks, Dan.
Take care,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.